Have you ever looked at a piece of art that you've done and been so proud of it at the time, only to go back a few months later and realize it's not quite what you thought it was? It's not the quality you wanted. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a piece that I felt the same way about, and what I wish I had known when I originally painted it. When I'm going through the motions in painting, a lot of times it turns into this auto paint kind of mode where my brain gets settled in and relaxed and I just dive right in. I look at a reference, I get an idea of the overall composition, and I start making some choices. But I also have a habit of looking back on things and relying too much on the photo reference. So the first thing that I would like to point out is that photo reference, while good, can also be a hindrance if you rely on it too much. The second thing is sometimes when you're making a line drawing and you're sketching out your details, you make mistakes. And instead of going back and fixing those mistakes, you maybe don't catch them right away. And so what you do is you end up building upon a foundation that's already pretty rocky. So that's where I went wrong with the original piece. There were certain elements of that composition that I got wrong right off the start, and I didn't catch them or know them well enough to make the adjustments as I was originally painting it. Next up is color choice. Color choice matters a lot more than I used to give it credit for. I thought big, bold colors were the way to go, and as long as it was close, it would be good enough. But when you're picking colors, if you're not paying attention, you may neglect the value of those colors and how dependent the image is on selecting the right values. In order to get something that looks realistic or 3D, you need to make sure that the values are emphasizing the right light and shadow. If you go too strong or you go too weak, your image is going to look flat. Another thing I wish I had known with the original painting is that proportions really can distort the realism of the image. The original image I drew was more of an exaggerated piece. It didn't look polished. It looked rough and scratchy, and at the time, I was totally fine with that because I was making new discoveries. But going back and revisiting it, looking at how distorted some of the proportions were, I can't help but feel that if I had taken a little more time to pay attention to the little details of the proportions, that maybe the piece would have turned out better as a whole. Another thing I wish I had learned is that it's not a race. When I originally painted that piece, I was getting into it, but I also wanted it to be over the second I started it. I needed to have more patience with myself. Taking the time to work out an image and correct something that's wrong and go back and give it some breathing time. Maybe step away from the computer or the piece of paper or the canvas, whatever you're working on, and come back to it with fresher eyes and really analyze what's working well and where can I make adjustments. That's going to go a long way in helping your piece in the long run. So, having done that with this second attempt, I feel it's a much stronger composition, a much stronger image, and I feel it strikes a stronger emotional chord as well. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you can take something away from it and apply it to your own work. Have a great day.